Hello everyone, this is 8-Bit Flashback, and we have another update that just came out for Team Xecuter's custom firmware, the SX OS. And we're now on version 1.5, and in this video I'm going to talk about some of the updates that come with this version, and I'm also going to show you how to quickly update your SX OS custom firmware to whatever the newest version is. So, let's get started. So before I get started, I'd like to let everyone know when you install custom firmware on a console, you put yourself at risk for being banned from online gameplay or eShop access. So remember, custom firmware equals risk, and proceed at your own risk. So we have three main features that were added with version 1.5. The first one is that we now have the ability to install multiple NSP titles at once, and this can be done by pressing Y when you're inside the installer tab. And now when you're done installing the files, it will ask you if you want to delete the source files, so you can delete those off your memory card so you don't have all this extra stuff taking up space. And second on the list, which is probably my favorite new feature, is we now have an FTP server that's built into the custom firmware. So this gives us the ability to transfer files from our computer to our micro SD card on our Nintendo Switch using the internet via an FTP connection. So now we don't have to remove that SD card every time we want to add some new files. And third on the list, and I like this feature too, is we now can put our XCI, NSP, or NRO files in different directories on our SD card. So now all those types of files will be recognized inside these various different directories. So for an example, you can make a folder called SX OS on the root of your SD card and put your games inside there, and they'll work just like they should. So that's the three updates for this firmware, but one thing I would like to mention is there doesn't seem to be anything that addresses the unhackable switches yet. They did mention a while back that they had a fix for it, but they haven't released that to the public yet. So maybe on their next update, version 1.6, we'll see a fix for the new unhackable switches. So now I'm going to show you how to quickly update your SX OS custom firmware to the newest version available. So first off, you want to head over to the sxxecuter.com website, and I'll make sure to post a link down below, and we want to click on that download tab. And the download's about 15 megabytes, so it shouldn't take that long to download. Once it's done downloading, we want to go ahead and open that file, and that's going to be in an archive format. So we want to go ahead and unzip that file by opening it, and inside there's going to be a file called boot.dat. Now it's time to plug in your micro SD card from your Nintendo Switch, and on the root of your micro SD card you should have a file called boot. So all we're going to do is overwrite this file by dragging our new boot file onto the root of our micro SD card. And that's it, that's all you have to do. If you're just updating your custom firmware, all you have to do is replace that boot file and you're now updated. Now it's time to put that micro SD card back inside your Nintendo Switch and boot your custom firmware up. Now if we open up the SX menu by pushing that album icon, we're going to have one new feature that's added to the top that we can see, and that's the options menu. So you want to use your left and right shoulder buttons to navigate through these menus, and right here's a look at the installer menu, and inside here is where we install all our NSP files. And here's the options menu, and inside here is where we can enable the FTP server. So if I push A, that enables it, and if you push A again, that disables it. So right now, if I enter this address on my FTP server, that's going to give me remote access to my micro SD card on my Nintendo Switch. So for my computer, I'm using Windows 10, and I'm using a free program called FileZilla for my FTP server. So now I'm going to head over to my computer and open up FileZilla and enter that address that was just displayed on my Nintendo Switch. And I'm not going to enter a username, password, or port. When I click connect, it should automatically connect. So now I have access to my micro SD card that's on my Nintendo Switch, and I can transfer files that's on my computer to my micro SD card using this program. So this should work for transferring most types of files, but if you're trying to update your Switch with that boot file, I would not recommend using it for that. And if you don't have the SX custom firmware and you're looking to get it, you can check out sky3ds.com. They have both the XX Pro and the SX OS custom firmware activation license, along with various other products for the Nintendo 3DS such as flashcards. Alright everyone, it's time for me to go. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video, please click that like button. If you want to hear more from me, please subscribe. And if you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Facebook and Patreon. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.